on Earth. They'd be lucky to have you. I'm sorry about that thing with the Tesseract. I just couldn't help myself. I'm a trickster. Yes, just so mischievous.
I'm a trickster.
That's perfectly fitting.
Very fitting. Ladies and gentlemen, that is right. This is What If Episode 7, Spoilers Review. I am the horse god, Taylor Field.
And I am the party pooper, Kirklin Patzer.
Yes. We got some plugs just before we get into it. I'll make them super quick because it's late and we want to go to bed. Check us out on our social media. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerse is our Twitter. GeekVerse is our Facebook. Be sure to check us out on our Patreon, especially because you can get early ad-free exclusive episodes. There's the Dexter retrospective that Travis is working on, and then you're working on a retro with Travis as well.
That's right, James Bond retro.
That's absolutely fabulous. What else is there? We got an After 9 that's going to be coming up here soon. And then we just got a newscast out the wazoo. A lot of stuff. You got the Venom review that's coming out. Be sure to check out our You and Me did that Venom predictions episode.
Yes, that was lots of fun.
That was a good time. Technical difficulties, but it all came through. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into some non-spoilers. So what did you think about this episode, Kirklin?
Yeah, I feel like I was kind of this episode came and I was a little bit like surprised by it just for the fact of like the vibes of what the episode was. It seemed a lot more lighthearted than the last couple episodes that we've gotten. But it still managed to have some like darkness to it. I'm excited to talk about some specifics in that sense. But overall, I still think it was a really fun What If episode. It was just a fun, like, I mean, as the name implies, just what if this situation happened? And I really liked it. I had fun with it. Like I said, there were some moments that were kind of dark in which really stood out in an episode that was really, like I said, lighthearted, and it seemed like it was delivering something a little bit more lighthearted, but it was still managed to have some dark stuff in there. So I think the balance of that was really good. I think like a lot of the characters that we got in this episode, it was just fun to see them interacting with each other in this what if situation. And yeah, all in all, I think it was a really good episode. I don't think it tops like the last 3 episodes that we've seen. Maybe like I don't know. I don't know where it compares with like the last one, the Killmonger episode, but I definitely think like the 2 episodes before that were just like so top notch for me personally. Those ones are just kind of tough to beat. So I think this one would fall lower than those ones, but I mean, with that being said, it's still a really good episode, and the series just it's good quality. So like even if this might be, I'm not saying it is, but if it happens to be like the worst episode in the series, I think it's a pretty good like mark, you know, because it is still a really good episode. But I just don't think it hits me in the heartstrings like some of those previous episodes did. So I think I'll leave it there.
Yeah, it's as far as the other episodes that we've gotten, this one is definitely lower on the totem pole. It's just, I don't want to say it's bad by any means. I think how you put it was very well said. I think it's fun, and it has moments that are very serious and you have to come to terms with. And I think that they kind of did a good job parodying a classic like cliche lifestyle. Like, if you know what I'm referring to. It's just the trajectory of the episode, I think, did a really good job at kind of diving into. It's no spoiler that the episode's about Thor, but I think the episode did a great job at kind of fleshing out an alternative storyline for Thor in what would be like the most make sense logical route, like one that even borderlines on what we almost got in the MCU if it weren't for this what if episode giving us the what if. So yeah, like there was a lot of surprise characters that were just hilarious. Like, these what if episodes never disappoint with the cameos. So that was a good time in this episode. But I think that's all I got non-spoilers wise. The ending had a nice
Oh yeah,
surprise to it.
I was very like that was very surprising that ending. Yeah, I'm just excited to talk about spoiler section because, like I said, like this episode, it seemed like one of those episodes that I could really like half watch and like not be
Mhm.
too heavily invested in, just because like all in all, it's not as intense as like let's say that Doctor Strange episode or even the zombies one. But then like that end happened, and it's like holy shit, okay, I need to
Well,
see more of that, right?
could you imagine like you fall asleep 10 minutes in, then you wake up at the end and you're like, what the fuck happened? Like the transition wouldn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, exactly. So it was one of those moments that it was just awesome. So
Mhm.
yeah, without further ado.
Yeah, we're going to jump to a quick ad break and then we're going to get into some spoilers. So we'll be right back. And we're back. So, Kirkland, where do you want to start off on this episode?
Um, I guess just like the concept of what this episode is of like if Thor just didn't have a brother to like what did the Watchers say specifically? It's like he didn't have one to like keep him in line or something or like
Yeah, he didn't have someone like to kind of teach him, like it put him through the ordeals that he went through.
right. Yes. So then he just like kind of became like a frat boy partier.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
was hilarious, honestly. Because it kind of fits like what you were alluding to in the non-spoiler section of like something similar to like what we've kind of got with Thor of him just in his party mode, but this is just turned up to 11 and it was just great him partying with like all these other MCU characters that we've just seen throughout the MCU and it was just so fun like his he was literally like destroying like worlds or
Mhm.
like especially in like the process of destroying Earth, but just by partying and just like going hard and like that was just a funny concept because it made something um like it was damaging Earth, but it just like kind of a funny lighthearted concept. That's why I found it fun because it was it was pretty like low consequence of just them partying, but at the
Mhm.
same time it is consequence because it's like hurting the planet and stuff like that. And I just found that pretty fun, honestly, and just seeing all the scenes with like our characters, whether it was like Nebula, we had Howard the Duck in here, like we just had so many characters crossing over and just partying with Thor, and it was just it was a fun time to see them all in there. But I think for what the concept was, it kind of I don't know. I don't want to say like took me out of it because I still had fun with the episode, but I felt like because it wasn't as intense of a subject, like if I'm comparing it to like Stephen Strange, like trying to bring back oh gosh, what's her name? Rachel.
Mhm.
And like that was just like it was like an emotional episode and I was like in it like 100%. I feel like because of just what the concept was, I just didn't like I don't know, it didn't hit me as hard, so I was just like, okay, this is what the episode is. And then it really wasn't until like the very end, like that cliffhanger that we'll talk about that like really was like, holy shit, okay, this episode. I don't know if you felt the same for just what the
Oh
concept
yeah.
was. Yeah, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I think there were moments like when he was even then fighting Captain Marvel, I just felt like, okay, this just feels dragged on a little bit too much. They went through like two fights, and I just feel like it was kind of unnecessary and just kind of long. And uh, yeah, I thought it was hilarious. Again, like you said, the frat boy lifestyle, him living there. I totally got. I don't know why, but Prince Charming vibes of Shrek 2. It was the weirdest thing. Uh but it was fun. I love seeing the Grand Master in there, like scooting
Yeah.
around. I love seeing like Surtur hitting on the Statue of
Oh
Liberty.
yeah,
Like
that was hilarious.
it was just like so much craziness in there. And again, I wasn't expecting that because I thought, okay, it's just gonna be him, the oh what does Travis call them? The not the Furious Five, but like the it's like Thor's like group of people, he calls them.
Oh
Thor
yeah.
and
I
his
I forget what they're called.
Thor and his group, the Warriors 3.
The
Yes,
Warriors
okay.
3.
So he's I thought he was just gonna be a party with him, Warriors 3. And then all of a sudden I see like the Skrulls, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And like they all changed to Thor, which is funny, but yeah, it just seeing all the different aliens. We got to see the like Guardians of the Galaxy gold people in there.
Yeah.
Rocket Raccoon was in there. Nebula. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there were so many, and like I felt like they just fit, like, because they could easily have just put like a bunch of side Asgardian characters or something, just like random people, but the fact that they actually brought in like familiar characters, I think it just made it so fun, and that's something that's it like you can do in a what if series, because it doesn't really matter why Nebula is there, in this episode, or whoever it might be. Like it could be anyone insert there, but it makes it so much fun, and I think that's what is so fun about this what if series, is that you have so much characters that have already been introduced in the MCU, and then you just bring them back. Like whether it was that episode where we had like good Thanos in the T'Challa episode, and like that was just so fun to have, a familiar character, just a different version of him. Or, I mean, in this one we didn't really get different versions of the characters. Maybe they just kind of behaved a little bit differently, but yeah, it's just so fun.
Yeah, I think that's a good mention about the different versions. The only different version we got would have been Loki, I guess.
Yeah, that was a major different version.
Major
Nice and
different.
tall frost giant. That was so fun when he like showed up, and I totally thought they were gonna like scrap it out or something, but they're all buddies, and Loki's got his like ice bros, and like just again, like it's just a stereotypical like party house, like it.
Oh, I hope that's not me. In the off chance that is not me, I'm gonna keep talking. Oh, are you there,
Oh,
Kirklin?
back. Yeah.
Was that me or was that you?
I'm not sure. It kind of just cut out. Were you still going?
I think I don't
For
know.
for me, we both cut out, so it might have just been my end.
All right. You're talking Loki. Oh no, did you cut out again? Oh no, no, not at 1 a.m. This isn't good. Kirkland's talking about Loki. Oh, are you back? Are you back?
I'm back. I don't know what's
Okay.
happening. Yeah, I don't know. You tell me about Loki.
Yeah, I think it was super cool to see him in his frost giant form, just super
Yeah.
large. And he got his throne that he was entitled to and he always wanted.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see this Loki variant some point in season 2 of Loki. But yeah, just party vibe Loki and him and his frost giant boys. I thought you were right. I thought they were gonna duke it out. They seem so serious. I thought there was gonna be like a rivalry in there or something like that,
Mhm.
but it totally played off of that well. And they tricked us with that. But I'm wondering if he still has the powers that he had as the god of mischief. I wonder if he is like his frost giant form, if he doesn't really have those powers, because I've always thought that was something from Odin living in Asgard.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could have been something that he just, I don't know, picked up and learned on his time in Asgard, but I feel like in my head canon, I would just picture him being like full frost giant, especially since that's just like his form, his full-time form that it seems like he's got in this one. Yeah, I think it would be more that route, but who knows? Maybe in part 2 of this episode, we'll see more of that from just ice giant version of Loki. I found it just so fun too, because they weren't like brothers and like trying to like, I don't know, whether it was Loki just super jealous of Thor, or like them just like brotherly fighting. It was just so fun to just see them like as friends, and like they were just like genuine friends. It was really, I don't know, it was really fun dynamic.
Absolutely. How did you feel about Captain Marvel coming in here?
Yeah, I mean, I loved like the look of all of their fight scenes together. I thought the animation surrounding Captain Marvel, it just looks so badass. Whether it was she was going like just full like powered up mode, and her attacks looked so cool. And again, like she just looks like a Super Saiyan. So like anytime she's fighting anyone, it looks so badass for me. I love Dragon Ball, so any like small little thing that reminds me of that, I'm obviously just super jazzed on. But I kind of liked that idea of like, who would you call if Thor is just I mean, he's just partying, but still,
Mhm.
it ended up being pretty dangerous. But I still like that. How who would you call to like take on Thor? Um, like who could compete with him, right? Like, would you call him the Hulk, or Carol kind of just fucked him up, which was pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean, he almost beat the Hulk in Ragnarok but he didn't beat him because obviously the neck thing from the
Yeah,
Grandmaster. But
Grandmaster.
yeah, that's a good question. I mean, Captain Marvel's definitely like the go-to, and they played off each other well when he's like hammer boomerang, and it came back and like hit her in the head. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that would hurt a lot. But yeah, when he was like charging up his hammer and like shooting like the lightning at her, and she was like going full Super
Oh,
Saiyan
yeah.
mode, that was super cool.
Just like grinning, like just
Yeah.
just showing her power. Like it was just a really fun scene.
Yeah. Oh, I just think that I think they did her pretty well in this episode. I think it was a nice, fun cameo. I like it that we got Maria Hill as the one that called her as like assistant director, but that
Mhm.
whole like setup for that of just how they just shafted Fury so hard. I'm pretty
Yeah, that was
sure.
pretty funny.
Yeah, like I thought they actually killed him off. To be honest, I'm
Me
glad they
too, for sure.
confirmed.
She's like, oh, he's still out of commission. Um, yeah, yeah. I totally thought he was gonna perish in that quick scene. What a terrible way to go.
By Korg as well. I was happy to
Yeah.
see him come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was good.
But yeah, like all in all, I liked her usage in this film. Because I thought it fit to like counter this godlike threat. You know, like who would you call? So yeah.
Absolutely. So what did you think about Jane? Yeah, her name was Jane. Jane and Darcy popping back in. I'm pretty
Jane
sure
Foster.
I think that was what's her name? Kat Dennings, I think is the name of Darcy.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yes,
I
I'm
think
pretty
that's actually her.
sure. Yeah, I think that was actually her. I don't think that was Natalie Portman, but I could be mistaken.
No,
I didn't look at the credits because
yeah, I didn't look at the credits,
weeb.
but I think you're right on that. Yeah, I mean, I've always liked like that relationship. It's not my favorite, but like Thor and Jane, it's got some history. I I just love the way that he like reminisces about their love life and like Endgame and stuff like that. It's pretty funny. But so I mean, it was fun to see them again here. I like how they got like matching tattoos basically, and like
Yeah.
again just playing off that romance. I don't know, it's just a fun romance, and I liked it how it was. She didn't really want to believe that he was like possibly causing harm throughout the galaxy because he's just fun individual, right? And he's just I feel like the way that he was acting was very typical of like just picture him as like, I don't know, like a college frat boy type personality, but for him he's just like a thunder god. So he's like the scale of it is just so another level. So I thought like the romance of her, especially with Maria Hill, like really like trying to, I don't know, like push on her and just explain like the situation. She just kind of didn't want to believe it. I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was fun and fitting. So I don't know. What do you think about Jane?
Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, you got to have her in this episode for sure with
Yeah.
Thor, but I think her dynamic with him was really funny. I like how she was just kind of like head over heels, like in love, and
He's Prince Charming, like you said.
he's
How can
Prince
you not?
Charming, exactly. Now, here's a question: like, did she just get like flat out like drunk and passed out in the suite, or did they engage in relations?
Well, that would have been weird, right? Because there's like a lot of different people in that room, right? Rocket was in there.
Oh yeah.
I'm that's like up to the eye of the beholder. I don't know. I feel like if I'm thinking just more Disney sense, maybe they just partied and blacked out
Just
and
partied, yeah.
just had a good time.
Yeah, fair enough.
Talked all evening, you know, one of those lines.
I keep again, just kind of like a side note. I always enjoy when I see Crossbones just pop in. Like, I don't know what it is, but he obviously he's Hydra, but like pre-Hydra, Shield at this time, but
Yeah.
I just like seeing him pop into these episodes. But yeah, as far as Jane Darcy goes, I think Darcy was hilarious. I loved her so much in WandaVision with her humor. I thought it really, really it jived well for like getting my humor checkmark box. And I just felt like it was the same in this episode. She's just hilarious. So especially her dynamic with Captain Marvel. It's a conversation that I never thought I needed or wanted to see, but when Captain Marvel was like, "You're at an 8, I need you to take it down to a 4." Like,
yeah. Yeah,
so
she
good.
seemed very true to the character. I mean, I've said that a few times just doing these reviews for the what ifs, which I mean, I got to keep tipping my hat off to them because it like it's easy to just like bring characters that we all know and just like put them in a weird situation, but it's another thing altogether to like keep them true to their character, and I felt like they have been doing that throughout the series. I mean, Darcy's just a great example. Like it was very Darcy behavior, you know, whether she was like her dynamic with Jane, because I don't know, I always like that they're friends in those movies, and I like their chemistry together and stuff like that. And she's just proven to not be reliant on Jane. Like Darcy's like her own character now, right? Like you just mentioned, she was in WandaVision, completely detached from Jane, and she still was like holding her own. Like she's a very likable character. And in this, it was the very similar behavior that we've seen and just come to expect from her. And it was really fun. And like you mentioned, the her and Carol dynamic, like that was just really really funny. That line definitely got me chuckling. So I really like Darcy in this. I felt like Jane, maybe like it could have been more just for how big of a character Jane is.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I would change because I don't know, maybe I'm not putting too much into the episode. I don't know. I feel like maybe there was some missed potential with the Jane character, but it doesn't mean I didn't like her in this episode. It was fun to see her again, but I don't know. I don't know what I would add or change, right? So I can't really say.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So obviously Odin was in the Odin sleep in this episode, but we got a lot of is it Frigga or Frida?
I think it's Frigga with G's.
Frigga with the G's. We got her, and I loved her in this episode.
Yeah. She was sprinkled like throughout the episode a few times, and I again, like just Thor and who he is in this what if situation of just being like a party boy, and really funny realization of like, oh, what do we do? We'll just tell his mom, you know, when he's partying. Who like like what's his weakness, you know, tell his mom. And that whole moment when Thor like was realizing that she was like coming to Earth, and it's like, oh no, you guys gotta leave, because it's like he's having a house party. It's just the scale of it is just on a godlike level, right? It's like the entire planet. So that moment was really funny. And pardon me, Frigga was the character that I didn't love or hate. It's just I felt like she was just pretty normal, but I'd like to just see more of the character, because I do want to like her more, and I think she's a very powerful like position of who she is, and it's fun to see, you know, the mother of the god of thunder and like her being a mother and not just being I don't know. I don't know. Other than what we got from like the regular MCU movies, I feel like it's just fun to see her more of a mother side than her position maybe that we see in the MCU. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken there, but nonetheless, she's just fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was great how they took advantage of that stereotype of her coming in to just crash the party, like coming home early. Even when she was on the call and they were about to launch the nuke, and even Captain Marvel kind of like chuckles to herself, and like Maria Hill cancels the nuke and chuckles to herself when Frigga's there and talking to Thor is like, I'm coming home. I'm coming to Midgard to see. And Thor's like, Jane ratted me out. Like it was just so adorable. But him just going through the whole process of like cleaning up. And I feel like Frigga would have gotten to Midgard much faster, because if at all, like that was like a solid 5-minute session of her traveling in the Bifrost.
loading screens, right? She's on the old gen console. She doesn't have
Yeah.
that quick SSD to quick load times.
Yeah, apparently. I loved Heimdall in this. Just he didn't have to
Yeah.
say anything. He just had to like look, like all his reactions and his interaction with Thor when Frigga was like, "Oh, Heimdall, keep his eye on you." And it was just like so many of these quick cut scenes where he turned to look at Heimdall and Heimdall's already staring at him, and like does a close up on like Heimdall's eyes. It was just, it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Not like overused. Just I think it was a good amount of, again, just kind of humor with his look and like
Mhm.
who he is, not just what he's saying. So
Absolutely. Do you have anything else you want to mention, or do you want to get should we get into the end?
yeah, I don't think I really have much else to say. Like I said, this episode, it seemed not too like intense. It's pretty easy watch. So I didn't think there's gonna be much more to dissect. Maybe like on another watch along, I'll be able to like really focus in on all the different like Easter egg characters and who was really in this episode.
Mhm.
But all in all, it was a fun one.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna jump to one last ad break, and then we're gonna get into the juicy ending of this episode.
Oh yeah.
And we're back. So, Kirklin, take us into this wonderful, surprising ending.
Yeah, so this really surprised me. As soon as like this little like portal thing opened, I was trying to figure out who like the soldiers were. I don't know who I thought they were at first. I did not for once think that they were like the Ultron bots or anything like that. And then you see Ultron, and it's like, oh shit, okay, this badass Ultron coming to kick ass. But no, it's not just him. He's got like all the Infinity Stones in him. It's like, holy shit, this is insane. And then shit me not, his mask opens up and it's actually Vision in
Yeah.
in the Ultron suit. And like that just blew my mind. I mean, for one, I always thought Ultron's design was really cool. Not my favorite villain, just from what I've seen in Age of Ultron, but so like his look is so badass, but when you give like the Infinity Stone like upgrade, holy shit, it just looks so sweet. And it's actually like a suit with Vision inside, which is such a interesting concept. I feel like I never would have thought of before. What do you think of that scene? I literally was like, holy shit, this is insane. And that was not a feeling I had throughout the episode. So it was just such a crazy end to an episode like this.
Oh yeah. I mean, it one-upped itself 3 times. I was like, oh shit, it's Ultron. I was not expecting that. And then you look at his chest, like, oh, he's got all the Infinity Stones. What? Like, how did he even get the Soul Stone? Who does he love? Maybe like, does that mean he sacrificed Wanda to get the Soul Stone? And then
Yeah.
you learn that in retrospect, because when it opens up, it's like, oh, it's Vision the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, it's just like up and up and up. I don't know. I wasn't expecting any of it. It was so cool, and I really like the episode of Party Thor was good. It's not up there on terms of like the zombie and the Doctor Strange episode and the Star-Lord Black Panther episodes for me, but this episode, that ending alone, setting up the next episode, that episode I know is going to be top tier. I want to see that. I want to know, okay,
Yeah.
did Vision sacrifice Wanda to get the Soul Stone? Like, there's so many questions I have.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think all of the What If series episodes so far pretty much ended on cliffhanger, or if not a cliffhanger, just like this is going to be the next episode, right? Like it's pretty clear something is going to be happening after the episode. This one was probably like the most hype I was for like about to see the next episode. Probably won't see that till season 2, but like still, like I think this one is the most holy shit, I need to know more like right away. Like, and like a lot of the cliffhangers have been really good throughout the series, but I just think this one was just, again, so bonkers, because I never would have pictured Ultron with all the stones, let alone Vision in the suit, and then he's got like his own army coming in, and it looks crazy, because it's something a lot more scary than just an Asgardian party and like ruining the world that way, you know. Like this is more like Avengers level threat again, and it looked crazy, scary, and God, Evil Vision, man, such a scary concept.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to piece together the events of things. Now, if they made Vision at this time, I had thought this whole Thor experience was during the events of Thor 1. But
Right.
now that's obviously not the case, because if Thor 1 happened before the first Avengers movie, but this obviously has to have happened after the Avengers movie, but he never would have came to Earth then. So we can skip the invasion of Loki to Earth. So we can go past the first Avengers movie didn't happen, first Thor movie didn't happen. We're going past that. So we're going right up to where they are Avengers Age of Ultron. We go to jump ahead to that point in time in the MCU. How did they get Loki's staff to get the Mind Stone out of it to
Right.
build Vision? Where did the staff come from? That's what I want to know, because if Loki never used it, where did they get it from? Was it Bruce and Tony that did it? That being said, this is after Civil War. So this is after all the Hydra documentation got leaked by Captain America, Black Widow, and such. So
Mhm.
why is Crossbones still working for Shield at this point? Like Shield
Right.
is still like in effect. Like there's so many things that I noticed that kind of overlapped and didn't make sense in the actual timeline.
Right.
And I'm curious as to how they would weave that and explain it. Or maybe I'm just overanalyzing it a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point though, because it is kind of tough to pinpoint the exact chronological like spot of where this episode would lie, because I was kind of thinking that too. Not really about like the Ultron and Vision stuff, but mostly just like where Thor lied. And it seemed like in this What If, he didn't meet Jane for the first time, right? Or did
In
I?
this one, I felt like they did meet for the first
did
time,
meet for the
because
first
yeah,
time? Okay.
she was like, "Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
that's
make first
right.
contact," right?
Yes, that's right, because they had like the asteroids falling, and Darcy and her were falling. That's right. Okay, yeah. So then you're right. That would be the events of Thor 1. But like again, because Thor never had a brother, like does that change the events of like when he would have showed up on Earth or something like that? Like we don't know how much certain events could have really shifted things. But I would hope they explain more of that, especially once they talk about like how Vision became Vision wearing Ultron, wearing all the Infinity Stones. Like I would hope that they kind of fill in the gaps for just some of that, because it's just such a wild thing. Because the stones are just so difficult to get in their own right, let alone having Vision wearing Ultron wearing the stones with his army. Like there's so many crazy things just shown, and I can't wait to find out more. And it looks terrifying, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you. I can't wait to find out more.
Mhm.
I got nothing else I need to add to this episode. Just the ending was an absolute 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Just the ending.
yeah. The ending was phenomenal. I think the episode was good, but the ending left me like gasping, like holy shit. And just throughout the episode, for what I was seeing, I didn't think I was gonna have that reaction. So kudos to them for having a wild ending. One quick thing I wanted to shout out, I forgot to earlier, was I loved when either they were flying in the air or when like Captain Marvel kept like smacking Thor and he would just go flying. I love like the aerial shot, and then it would show like France, but it was like written in France. And I love when she just like hit him. I think it was like from France to England, and then from like England to America. Like she was literally just like sending him across the world with her punches. It was just, again, it's just a fun little detail animation wise. And yeah, I just wanted to shout it out because it was just a really cool little detail.
Absolutely.
Anytime they were like in the air.
On that note, again, I totally agree. The animation, the details, super, super great. I want to mention with the Watcher, he was definitely a lot more heavy in this episode in terms of his narration, just seeing him. And again, his reaction at the end of the episode to Ultron or Vision popping in was great. But I feel like, again, he's more prominent in every single episode as we go along. So
yeah, because like he really popped up in the Doctor Strange one. Like he was literally talking to Doctor Strange at some point, and then I forget which one was after that, but he like kind of took a step back, and then just again coming back a little bit more in this episode. It's just fun inclusion of him. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and with that, I think we close it out. So
How many episodes of these are total? 9 or something?
oh gosh, I'm not even gonna say
Not gonna
because
guess.
Travis is gonna call me out like you're wrong, and I don't want to be accused of false information. I know I
Maybe
looked
can,
earlier on.
Oh,
I,
says 6, but that doesn't make sense because 7 is what we just watched.
yeah,
Episode 8, possibly.
no comment from me.
Yeah, I don't want to speculate.
If I had to guess, I feel like around 9. I feel like Travis said, "Oh, there's like 2 more episodes of What If like that we have to cover or something like that." So I think it's around 9, but we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, we will see. We'll be here for every one that comes up.
Yeah. So yeah, plugs at the beginning of the episode. Be sure to check it out. And yeah, we'll see you in the search bar.
Farewell.
All right, hold on. I'm sorry.